Good morning, good morning. It is a great day to be alive in my right mind, and I thank God for it. Also, I have the power because I'm connected to the power source, Jesus. I'm coming to you this morning, it's giving you some updates on New Horizon Mental Health Support Group, hosted by Simple Balance Life Ministries. And I thank God for that. And I thank God for April was 1 year since we launched New Horizons Mental Health Support Group. And it's really been a blessing to many. Thank you all for contacting us. Thank you for coming in and listening to our platform and those who have participated, as we're always looking for more presenters as well as participants. But today, just giving you an update on our May, June, and July's platform. And God has really blessed with reaching out to different organizations, different groups of people, professional, from church, from different walks of life. So we've been blessed by that. So in May, we had Celestine Burnett along with her mother, she's a mother of Keisha B. Nicholson, Keisha Burnett Nicholson. And Keisha presented her information last year, and we really thank God for that. But this time, she has come from mother as a duo, and a perspective of how a mother had to deal with her daughter who was going through mental health problems and challenges years ago when she was at home and when she was in college. And Keisha has suffered from seasonal depressions because, as we know, as the seasons change, especially from the warm weather where we are in August now of 2022, the weather pattern is changing a little bit. It's some mornings a little bit cooler, even though we have a lot of hot days left. But as the sun doesn't shine as bright from our perspective, or the days have shortened and longer nights, people go through the change from the warm start getting cool and to start getting cold. And Keisha really, back in the day, years ago, really suffered from this. So they were talking about from the mother, the child, and the parent's perspective, how it was dealt with. And Mother Celestine was talking about how difficult it was. Of course, they prayed, got medical attention, support, family support, but it was very, very difficult, not just for Keisha, but for the family to see her going through that. So family support is very, very important in all things, generally speaking, but especially in our mental health. Then at 6 o'clock later on the day, our own daughter, Danielle L. Hoggart Jones, presented her information about mental health challenges through trauma. As many of you know, she was hit with a home invasion back in 2008, and they left her for dead. And the different things that she had to deal with, being an innocent person working hard, and that happened. And she has had, since 2008, about 30 operations. But thank God she is doing good. And as I'm speaking right now, of course, in December, she had a leg amputated and a prosthesis. And she's doing good in rehab, but doing good because the infections and everything was really taking her life away, literally poisoning her system. But even beyond the physical is the mental challenges that she went through to stay afloat. And I thank God, us as a family and her husband and children as a family, we all supported her. So she dealt with trauma through injury. And so she talked about that, some of the childhood challenges and different practices that now she has gone through to learn how to cope with this trauma, and also learn how to forgive the assailants whom the police never caught. but she forgave them because she wanted to go on with her life. So we never know when trauma is going to happen or attack's going to happen, but we need a good support system to help us to overcome. And she definitely is a fighter. Thank God she has overcome many, many challenges, and then it's going on 14 years December. And so she was talking about how you have to be surrounded by a good support group, acknowledge that this has happened, the attack happened, she had nothing to do with it, but how can she overcome it? And she is definitely an overcomer. So we thank God for that. Then also in June, we had two ladies, Heather Pate and Jennifer Keel, and they work with an organization, nonprofits, to help people dealing with mental health challenges. And they work with Robin's Hope, an organization that help people. And Heather gave her story how even though she's now a leader in this organization, she had to deal with mental health issues and challenges and the attacks of her mind, and still even now after years she still has to pave her way. So what she is doing, has done, and what she is doing, like myself and others, taking what was a liability in life and turn it over to an asset. And so even she had challenges in her childhood and just didn't know what was going on, but she was able to take what was handed to her and to in turn help other people. So it's all about healing, and sometimes the best way to be healed is to help other people. And that's what Heather has and is and will continue to do, to stay healed, to stay afloat, and in turn help others. So that was a really, really good session with her. So I'm telling you, please jump on board. Then we also had Samantha Bailey Thomas, a young lady who we saw grow up. We've been in our home in this area for 33 years, and we were there when she was birthed, and then saw her grow up and go through school. And now she is a nurse, a pediatric nurse. Also, she is a nurse at one of the schools here in Chesterfield County, Virginia. And she was talking about the trauma, mental health challenges, especially due to COVID. In other words, the children have been out about more or less 2 school seasons virtually. And then when they started back to school, they really didn't know how to handle being back in groups, being back in a group learning. They really didn't understand that. And the stories that she got, how, of course, there were suicide attempts. So there were certain triggers that happened with students going back to school. They end up in the nurse's office. And then the teachers had to deal with COVID. Then the students had to deal with COVID. Then the parents. So it was a great influx of mental health challenges in the schools. And this is a high school, but can you imagine even in the elementary and middle school? So it was a really, really good session about that, because school is getting ready to start now, and some have for this season. And we really need to be watching out for our students as well, those who are going to school for the first time, those who will continue their education. Thank God COVID is we see some headway, but it's still very dangerous out there. And students are really going through, as well as the parents and everyone else, and also the frontline workers, of which she is one of them. So we have to be careful but we have to have that support that we can help one another in this time. Then in July, I thought this was very interesting. We had Corporal Craig Eckrich of the Chesterfield County Police Department, and he came in from the mental health challenges from a professional and family perspective. Of course, he's a police officer. He's with the neighborhood crime unit, neighborhood watch crime unit. And he was saying, because I wanted to invite him because I want to hear from those who protect and serve us. How do you deal with COVID, the mental health? And as we know, being in the law enforcement, it's enough challenges right there. A lot of pressure on one's mental health, on one's whole being. Then you throw COVID in there, and he was talking about how that is with the officers, with those who are there, and they do have persons in place that they can go to vent, to get help with their mental health, and especially with COVID. Sometimes, of course, you heard in the news a lot of rogue cops. In every organization, in every vocation, you have rogue people. But we thank God for those who protect and serve us, rescue us. And so they have to have some outlets too, as they have to go in to talk to someone. And he was saying that the law enforcement had to be ministers, lawyers, supporters, counselors, etc. And so it's a very, very stressful position. I even did some years back in the Richmond, actually city, part of the City of Richmond community, like police support. I did that, took that training, citizen support, and I'm about to embark upon that with Chesterfield. Also, a few years back, did the ride along with the Chesterfield Police Department with one officer, and I can just feel the pressure of what this particular officer was under, and then dealing with, it was actually her own mental health. This was back in the day, the different challenges. So now with COVID, it really brought light to me. So we need to pray for them, that they will be protected. And also he has said a person may go through life crisis, life-altering crisis 1 or 2 times in a lifetime. But law enforcement go through hundreds of life-altering crises. Again, you throw COVID in there, then, that's even more challenges. So I've said all of this to let you know that Simple Balance Life's New Horizon Mental Health Support Group is going on, firing, if I may say, on all cylinders. We're gonna have other people to come on. I'm reaching out through the different departments in the county. I'm reaching out to pastors with their spouses, how they have dealt personally, ministry-wise, with COVID, the mental health challenges, and all that's going on. So I'm saying this: if you're interested again in being a part to be a facilitator or to speak about this, you may contact me. And also, if you just want to come in and listen, you may do that as well. So thank you very much. We're looking forward to our time this month in August for August support group meeting. Spread the word. Tell the people about it, because it's all about trying to keep our minds sound and to do what God has called us to do. So you have a great day, and I'll be reporting to you our next update and what has transpired. So have a great day, and thank you very much.